So, very good afternoon, one and all present here. I am Abhijit More and I am taking this privilege to welcome you all on the national webinar on topic Challenges of Disruptive Technologies organized by Maharashtra University Mumbai under the Center for Postgraduate Legal Studies. Maharashtra National Law University Mumbai is one of the premier law institutes in India. The university has been established in 2014 and it started its academic endeavor in year 2015. The university did advanced legal knowledge under the able guidanship of University's Chancellor, Honorable Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, and under leadership of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. MNLU Mumbai also lays on the research project, clinical legal skill training, legal researching by encouraging its students to university in national and international competition. We have a center established to conduct advanced Center for Arbitration, Information Communication Technology, Postgraduate Legal Studies, Centers in Criminal Justice, Center for Clinical Legal, Center for Maritime Law and Research, Justice M.L. Painse Chair in Environmental Law, and many more. The Center for Postgraduate Legal Studies the normal operation of market or any industry. It displays the well-established product or technology and create the new industry or market. Disruptive technology is an innovation that significantly alter the way the consumer, industry, and business operates. Lot of these disruptive technologies are still at very early stage of development, and therefore laws and regulation that are dealing with them are continuously changing. To keep our awareness with the changing regulation, we have organized the national webinar on the topic challenges of disruptive technology. So without any further delay, I would like to introduce you all to the chief guest of today's national webinar, Mr. Bhupesh Daheria. He is education technology futurist, serial entrepreneur, educator, prolific speaker with over 25 years of experience in telecom, innovation, skilling, data science, artificial intelligence, higher education, and edutech. In 2002, with the support of Bharti Airtel, he founded the AJ School of Developing Cross-Functional Leader in Telecom. In 2015, he launched the first postgraduate program in data science with artificial intelligence and big data input in association with the IBM. Subsequently, the India's first postgraduate program in cybersecurity, applied artificial intelligence, full stack development in association with the IBM. His goal in life is to make quality education accessible to everyone by improving the efficiency of the current system through digitalization and scalable digital infra. He is a pioneer in edutech, which is design manage service online application in 2002. In 2017, he initiated a data science congress to develop the ecosystem for bringing India at the forefront of data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, analysis at the World Forum. He has worked on designing the unique framework, AL-based tool for designing the course curriculum for various disciplines. This approach helped to design a better course structure and reduces the biases. He used this method to design the master program in data science and masters in cybersecurity at Aegis. He has worked on designing unique framework, artificial intelligence based tool for designing the course curriculum of various disciplines. This approach helped to design a better course structure and reduces biases. So this he also used this method for the master's program in data science and master's in cyber security at Aegis. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Vijit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for a warm welcome and a kind introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon on this Sunday. And I welcome all of you in this session. And I would like to express my thanks to Professor Dilip, Professor Anil, Professor Anand Raut, Pooja Kulkarni for inviting me to the national webinar on challenges in disruptive technology. So good, Professor Abhijit, that you have already set up the context that what disruptive technology is, right? And I need not to emphasize, most of you must be every day facing or encountering these digital technologies, disruptive technologies. And I don't know whether you have seen disruption or not, uh, but my idea of today's talk, though I prepared a PPT, but I kind of feel PPT is kind of pretty boring, right? So I would like to really talk a couple of points, and around that, instead of me becoming a ashram bapu, which I tend to become, I would like you, all of you, to really intervene in between, ask any questions, and let's try to really have you folks can really start your video, use microphone, right, and even chat. I would prefer if you can really use microphones. I will feel that I'm talking to humans, not bots sitting across, right? Uh, so this topic is very interesting topic, and all these years, for last 7 8 years, I have been uh, speaking, of course, on both the side, right, that how disruptive technologies are changing the way we do business, and how disruptive technologies are has given humans like a power of becoming even a god, right? Like today, this artificial intelligence, the power of cloud, the power of 5G, these technologies has given absolutely superhuman kind of power to human beings, right? And we are able to really do things which was impossible even 20 years back or 15 years back. I imagine that when I did my engineering, and that was in 95, and my specialization was optical fiber. And while I was studying optical fiber, I'm basically by education I'm telecom engineer, but no more I am a telecom guy. Uh, and that time optical fiber used to be the very high-end technology, and we never seen optical fiber while we were studying. And it was extremely difficult to visualize that how this tiny wire, which is just like it's a glass wire, which is just like a hair, uh, is going to really transform the entire telecommunication industry. And that was a high tech. And you used to think that yes, we are absolutely in high tech technology. And we could never ever imagine that today we'll be using a phone which will kill hundreds of industries. So no more you require a watch or calculator or so many kind of stuff. And that was like a dream. That was and 25, 27 years is it's just a blink of time if we really see the human history, written history of last 7,000 years. 27, 26 years is nothing as compared to 7,000 years. Now, why we really call these technologies in a negative connotation? Because disruption is not a positive word. So why we really use disruption? Perhaps this was like a wake-up call for most of the 500 Fortune companies, because if you really track in last 20, 30 years history, roughly 50%, 60% companies which were there in 500 Fortune companies, they are no more exist in existence. But you see, let's say Baidu, uh, can you really imagine that a company which is just a virtual company could really become like a $24 billion company, going and buying out every other company? Can you really imagine that a company which is just like almost 15, 16 years old company, Facebook will have users close to 2.5 billion, uh, which would be like a combined population of China and India. That's something mind-boggling. And then these companies, uh, if we really see from the business point of view, the kind of impact they can really create, the revenue generation they are doing is mind-boggling. And traditional industries which were there in brick mortar, it has really disrupted. Now, most of you are coming from the legal background. My discussion focus will not be purely on the business side. My focus will be primarily on ethical side, ethical aspects, and legal aspects. My talk, uh, the idea is not to give you the concrete answers, which even I don't have. And if you really speak to any of the expert, perhaps they will not have any concrete answer for the thoughts which I will be provoking. So my whole idea is to do some kind of Kundli Jagran, right? Wave of these disruptive technologies, which is artificial intelligence, which is blockchain, which is IoT, which is AI, VR, and AR, VR. The entire metaverse is being built. Uh, all these technologies, driverless cars, various state governments are trying to really invite Elon Musk to set up Tesla factories over here. So while we are blindly, there is a euphoria, right, which is there to really grab these technologies. As a legal professional and legal professional, always skeptical about everything, because the way you have been trained to think everything from the logic and everything from the human rights perspective. And my discussion topic is to really dwell upon and to give you insight and provoke you to really think on those lines, and perhaps in future you will be able to really find answers, or at least those experts, those who are behind developing these technologies, you will force them to really think on those lines, right? So one of the point which I want to really so there are a couple of points which I will be discussing, right? And some of the points are like, I will be talking about good mother versus bad mother, intelligence versus conscience, biases, how these disruptive technologies are developing more intolerant society, what will be the role of humans in future if everything machines and robots are going to really do. Robot wars are much more dangerous than nuclear war, and how do are going to really hold the responsibility. These are the couple things I have in my mind. There are hundreds of things which we can really discuss, but I thought of limiting my discussion around these 4 or 5 topics. Feel free to stop me and ask questions or add any comment if you want to. So let's talk about good mother and bad mother. What is a good mother? Good mother, while you were a child, on perhaps Monday she will give you paneer, Tuesday she will give you aloo paratha, then she will give you milk, she will give you egg, right? Uh, and even if you start, even if you like some kind of one thing, which is like a chocolate, I remember I used to eat eclairs a lot, right? And eclairs has a bad impact on my teeth. But even though you like eclairs or you like chocolate, the good mother is not going to really keep on feeding you chocolate, isn't it? Or imagine that all of we have grown as an adult and we like alcohol, right? We like beer. So should your mother should really start giving you every day instead of a milk beer? And once you start becoming addicted, the whole day you will start drinking beer. What you will call your mother, good mother or a bad mother? Folks, there is a question for you. I know the answer, you also know the answer. It's a pretty obvious question, which I want response from you. As a child, if you start crying that you want chocolate because you like chocolate, if your mother starts giving you whole day chocolate instead of a balanced food, or if you have grown as an adult, she starts giving you beer because you like beer. What you will turn this mother, as a good mother or a bad mother?
Bad mother.
He has never seen any bad mother.
No, no, sir, no
Not in
bad
Indian
mother.
society, not in Chinese society, anywhere, right? Because mother knows what is good for you, even if you don't know. Isn't it right?
It depends.
Now let's
Means
come.
the understanding she has whether it is going to have a bad impact on her child or not. So if
Yes.
she has understanding of it and still she's feeding the child with chocolate and giving her the beer, then obviously she will be entitled as a bad mother.
Okay, but you will never find such a bad mother on this planet, right? You will never find such a bad mother. Now let's come down to YouTube. Do this experimentation, and perhaps we have done that. If you start searching for Rihanna's song on YouTube, YouTube will start showing you Rihanna's songs. If you start watching Anup Jalota's bhajan, YouTube will start feeding you Anup Jalota's bhajan. Right? Isn't it? Now, if you start, say, watching some kind of violence content, right? It will start feeding you violent content. If you start watching a pornography, it will start feeding you pornography, right? If you if you belong to some right wing or a left wing, right? It will start feeding you those thoughts. Let's say if you worship BJP, they will start feeding you everything which will endorse your ideology, which will harden your ideology about BJP, right? If you start hating BJP, they will start feeding you content which is full of hatred of BJP. If you don't like, if you like Congress, they will start feeding you videos related to Congress. Now, is this imagine that YouTube has also become a mother, right? Because your mother knows that yes, you like Monday paratha, and if you don't like paratha, perhaps she will give you poha, or maybe she'll give you idli, or she will give you dosa, right? And let's eliminate this extreme case that you keep on eating the chocolate. But mother precisely knows even today at this age at 48, even if I don't open my mouth, my mother will know whether I am in good mood or a bad mood, right? Even today, she can really predict whether I am liking the food or not. And how it is possible? That just because she is a mother, because she started collecting the data even when I was not born, while I was there in her womb for 9 months, right? And that's for all of us. So our close friends, our siblings, our life partners, our mothers, our colleagues, those who spend more time, they tend to really gather a data. And when then they gather the data, they can really predict our behavior, and they can really predict the deviation from any our baseline behavior. And that's what has led to the invention of AI or machine learning or deep learning. So the data, the digital footprints which we are leaving on this digital world, these companies are capturing every point of the data, whether it is Facebook likes, the images which you really upload, the searches you're doing, the location, this video lecture is being held on cloud, right? So our generation is the immortal generation. So we'll be live even after we die, right? So our digital footprints will be there. And with these fake videos, perhaps my video can be captured and some violent videos can be created in future. or different avatars can be really given. My students create these kind of videos in our lab, AI lab. So all this entire digital data is being fed to build your pattern the way humans have built our pattern, the way your mother understands you, your parents understand you, the same way now machine has started understanding you. So the modern mother is YouTube. But the YouTube and a Facebook has not a good mother, they have become a bad mother. Because they have failed this understanding that what is good for you and what is bad for you. Right? Although we think that we are living in the world of choice because this is my choice, whether I want to like BJP or whether I want to like Congress, whether I want to belong to the right wing or a left wing, or whether I like this blue shirt or not. So we are being fooled that these are our choices. They are not our choices because we have been heavily influenced by the propaganda, and based on the data, the profiling is being done, and we have been continuously being feeded what we are liking. So we are not getting the balanced diet. As a human body, you need the balanced diet. You can't really eat one kind of item. So if you like dal and rice, you can't really keep on feeding your body morning and afternoon and evening dal and rice. You will become sick. Your body will become sick. And today, because of AI, while AI is giving multi-billion of dollar to the businesses, now the whole industry, be it Facebook, be it Google, they are after multi-trillion dollar of ad business. And while these services are free, you are a product, right? And what product you are, your job is to really click on the ad. So the best brain today, ironically, they are building algorithms, and these algorithms are predicting that what ad you are going to click next. And if you have to really watch those ads, you need to be on these platforms. And by the way, this whole the center of AI is a deep learning, and deep learning is nothing but basically neural network. And neural network is built upon it mimics the human brain. So our brain has billions and billions of neurons, and how it works that has been replicated in a deep learning and a neural network. So behind the base technology are not computer scientists; these are the behavioral scientists. These are the psychologists, right? These are the neurologists, those who understand how our body, how our brain functions. And that's how we really get addicted. So the modern marijuana, the modern charas, the modern cocaine is social media. And the
Um,
heart of the social media is essentially the artificial intelligence. And the
but sir,
artificial intelligence,
it has certain benefits too, I think. Like if algorithm is telling us that this is what you are interested in, this is what you should be watching. So don't you think it is something that is preventing us? It is directly showing us which are our interested video or what we are interested in. Like suppose I like watching Bollywood music, then they will show me that thing only. So indirectly they will prevent my time as well. So it depends ki how we are going to use it. If I'm not interested in violence thing, I am that not that biased, but I'm interested in entertainment thing, so they will be showing me the latest videos
you're,
or the
you're,
videos.
you're perfectly right, Professor Abhijit. So there are two aspects to that, right? So while we are talking about the choices, so you mentioned the choice, right? Because I am watching what I like. Now I am debating that question. What you like is influenced by the profile has been built around you, right? And your choices are being hardened. On one part, of course, it helps you in discovery. Let's say on Amazon, you have billions of products. Now Amazon recommender system is helping you that you need not really go through those billions of products. Amazon, based on what initially you're searching and what you have purchased, based on that it really brings out couple of products, maybe 10, 20 or 100 products out of those billions of products. My student has built GeoMart's recommender system, just like Amazon, right? Because it helps you in terms of a discovery. That's a business objective, right? Now,
Right,
but we are not spending a lot of time in terms of really doing purchases, right?
right,
We are spending a lot of time. So while I'm talking to you, my LinkedIn is open, right? While we are having any discussion, these browsers, which is Chrome browser, they all are Edge is open, Firefox is open, right? And they are collecting the enormous amount of the data. Right? Now, why I'm discussing that at the one end, we can really always, I can really give you hundreds of benefits what these recommender systems and deep learning are doing, right? Because we are building applications, we are training students, and these students are going and working in the corporate. It is being helpful in terms of really identifying the fraud. So you can really easily identify a fraudulent transaction because that's a deviation from the baseline behavior. Let's say you are making a purchase of 500 rupees. You have never made a purchase more than 500 rupees. Immediately, if you really make a purchase of 10,000 rupees, that's a deviation from your baseline behavior. That's an anomaly. And imagine that billions of transactions which is happening every minute, how you're going to really identify? Humans cannot really do, so machines are doing. And that's where deep learning, machine learning, and AI is being used. That's one part. What I'm talking about, the other aspect, that though AI is also playing a good mother role, right? Let's say you want to really watch videos about disruptive technologies. You're watching about IoT or how machine learning can be used in law. The same YouTube, which has become a bad mother, can be a good mother as well, right? But we are talking about that those who are not aware, those who are adolescent, those who are teenage, right? Uh, they don't have choices, right? The brain is still not evolved. Still they can't understand whether it is good or bad, right? And though I'm not really against with these TikTok videos or these reels, right? Even though I have my own biases, but see, the whole generation is the kind of amount of time they're spending, right? And though they may say and they may argue that they like it and they can really build a career around that, but this liking, this choice, which they feel that this is their choice, it is not choice because uh, the algorithms are being designed in such a way that it you you really get the positive endorsement, and based on that endorsement your dopamine releases. So you tend to really create more videos. You tend to really watch more pornography. You tend to watch more of videos which endorses your philosophy. Let's say if you belong to the right wing or a left wing, right? If you really watch right wing videos, it releases your dopamine. So what you're seeing that it is your choice, it is not your choice because the algorithms are built by these psychologists so that you spend more time. The company's valuation is increasing based on the active user and how much time you're spending every day, right? Because more time you spend, more number of advertisement you watch, and more number of advertisement you click or watch. Uh, these social media's client, they pay them more money, right? And eventually you will buy. You will buy things which you actually don't require. But the example which you gave, that yes, it also gives you opportunity to really uh, mm, cut the crap and easily discover some products. But the point which I am going to really discuss at a later stage, that if something goes wrong, let's say you're a depressed person, right? Uh, and you like to hear sad songs. Uh, Yesterday I was watching a video and some Filmfare award, and some guy was making a fun of Arjit Singh. That when I listen to your songs, even though I don't have any love affair, I feel like my 10 girlfriends has left me and ditched me because I become sad. It was on a joke side, right? Let's take a serious side. You're seriously depressed because you lost a job, right? Uh, you had issues in your family, right? And a sad man, what he will watch? He'll not watch, say, comedy serials, or he'll not say, watch pleasant music, right? He'll start watching and listening to those sad songs, which even when AI was not there, disruptive technologies were not there, when those tapes were there, people used to really listen to Jagjit Singh or those kind of songs. But now you have tons of content. You have tons of content which can even provoke you to do the suicide, right? Now in your law, you can really file a case against a human being. If AI was a human being, you could have filed a case against the human being that it led to the provocation to the suicide. But how you're going to held responsible to the AI which has been feeding him the content which led him to reach to a conclusion that life is worthless? Which otherwise, if AI would have been a good mother, if YouTube's algorithm and Facebook's algorithm were so intelligent that they have detected that this John is a depressed person, they should have not offered them those content, or even while offering those content should have given the warning. Now, there has been a research paper which I have come across which claim that if you analyze somebody's profile, Facebook profile, you can even get to the extent of insight that when this guy is likely to do suicide, and this guy can commit a murder. This level of profiling is being done. The kind of enormous amount of data is being built, and that's why YouTube, Facebook, Amazon, their recommendation is far better than the human cognition and human's ability to recommend anything. Netflix, how addictive Netflix is. Can you really show me anybody who took the Netflix subscription and ever discontinued it? Telecom ARPU 10 years back was 75 rupees. And how much money you pay to Netflix every month? 250 bucks to 750 bucks. It's not a small money, right? Now, I'm not talking about the internet purpose, but business side, yes, movies are being promoted. Every movie producer, the content producer making money, Netflix revenue is going up, Netflix is paying more tax, and the government is collecting more tax. But at a certain level, they are changing the human behavior. They are not giving you the balanced diet which was needed for a human being. And these things has happened in such a short span, which is just like I said, last say 10 years, not even 20 years or 30 years. Facebook came in existence in 2005, right? Deep learning algorithm were invented, came into limelight in 2012. The AI has become into mainstream, although it was in universities in last 60 years, 70 years, but became very prominent in last 6, 7 years only. So this is in just last 10 years, our mind, which has been evolved over millions of years, is not capable of digesting these exponential. So these disruptive technologies are also called exponential technologies, because the way they are growing and the way they are having influence over the human life, human brain, and business is exponential. So I run a software company as well, and I always say, and this is not my code, why I read it somewhere, you don't write what you don't understand. So you cannot write a code which you don't understand. Now, today in exponential technology world, in disruptive technology world, most because all these behind the underlying hood of these algorithms, there's a complex mathematics. And understanding these mathematics, complex mathematics, is not possible for most of the human beings. And even the most of the developers, those who are writing the code. So that's another point which I wanted to really highlight, that today's exponential technologies is beyond the comprehension of even 99% technology guys, those who are developing those applications, because they're using the code which is in API form. let's say facial recognition. So facial recognition APIs are offered by, these are the solutions. So let me uh, cut this jargon API. These solutions are offered by Google and Amazon. So they have analyzed millions of photographs, and based on that, they are offering this service. That okay, you use this service and integrate this service in your application. So let's say you want to really launch uh, a nextshadi.com, and you want to really detect whether somebody who's uploading the photograph is a human photograph or an animal photograph, right? So you will use the solution provided by Google or Amazon or Microsoft to really do that rather than you writing your own code. Of course, there are a lot of companies, they're writing their own code. Like we have written our own code to identify the missing children's picture in a project called Kojo, right? Which is of course like a good mother because it's solving the good problem. Now, the point is that most of the developers, those who are writing the code, they don't understand what is written, what solution Google and Facebook is providing. And that led to the another point which I want to really talk about. These technologies are hardening our biases. So in US, there were instances wherein facial recognition software has uh, termed black people as ape men, because most of the algorithms were trained on the white faces, and that was the bias, which human biases, which led into the machine as well, right? So let's say you are somebody who's developing algorithm for giving a bank loan, or let's say you are developing, so there is a company in US, and this company's name is Prepol. Prepol has reduced down the crime rate by 50% in various states in America. What they do, they have built up the algorithm, and based on this algorithm, they can really predict which locality the crime might happen, and the police can really reroute their forces, and they can even tell the time and days and various other parameters, and that has actually helped to reduce down the crime. So any police professional also works on certain parameters, some heuristics, that yes, these are the localities where crime happens, right? These are the days when the crime happens. Let's say Friday night crime happens. And we might have seen, so there was a recent movie, I've seen this movie from South. I'm not able to recall the name. And this movie was about the caste discrimination, right? The police used to really catch hold of some particular community people
Jai Bhim, no?
because, yeah,
No.
you remember the name?
Yes, it is Jai Bhim, I think.
Yeah, Jai Bhim. Yes, Jai Bhim. Amazing movie, right?
Right, sir.
And yeah, so let's say a developer from that particular area is developing an algorithm to identify the criminals, and based on the historical data, right? Because how AI algorithm works based on the historical data. Let's say I want to really predict that whether tomorrow there will be rain in Mumbai or not, and how much rain. So what I will do, I will take the data of last 20 years and see whether during this period of January, so tomorrow is going to be 24th January, so I'll take 2-3 days gap, right? So I'll say from 20th to 25th, 26th, whether in last 20 years, whether it rained or not. And if it rained, how much it rained, right? Because I have to really go in past. Now, modern technology, of course, really checks what is the, say, how's the whether there is a cyclonic impact which is coming, right? So these modern forecast is just not based on the historical data. But most of the AI algorithms works on the historical data. Let's say if I want to really identify what will be the stock price of Tech Mahindra, I will really take the historical data. Now, so let's say if you want to really identify and build algorithm that who's likely to commit crime. Let's say out of say for sake of argument, let's say there are 10 communities, right? And historically, you identify that out of these 10 communities, these 4 communities were contributing the 60% of the crime in last 20 years, right? It could be based on the caste discrimination, it could be based on the human biases or any other thing. But once you feed this data into the algorithm is going to really give you those same kind of conclusion. Because that is the data which you have feed it. Because artificial intelligence, let's consider artificial intelligence is just like a child. Child will speak what he is going to hear from teachers, his parents, and the surroundings. And that's the reason we are very much cautious about what we speak in front of the child and which society we live in, because we want to really protect our child. So AI also builds up the huge biases which human carries. So tomorrow, let's say if some person do not get the loan, his loan application is being rejected, you don't know what could be the parameter. Maybe there could be a bias. So there are a lot of AI and deep learning which is being used in the legal system. As a legal professional, you also need to understand, and perhaps you are going to really ask these questions that tell me how your algorithms are taking the decision. And do you really understand what data you have used to train your algorithm? And what measures you have taken to remove those kind of biases? And ये तो जग जाहिर बात है, how Russia has manipulated elections in US. And they have used the same tools which Americans have built, which is artificial intelligence, which is bots, which is social media. They've divided the whole country. And America reached down to such a low, they claim themselves as a democracy, and we saw what has happened in Capitol Hill. White supremacy and those kind of stuff. These are the radical thoughts which were buried down in the books. These were the dark thoughts which had just came on the surface. Because these biases are being hardened by these disruptive exponential technologies, which on other hand is solving a lot of problems, giving a lot of profit to the businesses, also helping millions and billions of kids to really learn. So while I'm talking about the challenges, let's not also forget that these technologies are also doing good, right? But today my objective is to really play a devil's advocate and show you the darker side of those technologies. And how as a legal professional, you need to be skeptical about every technology which is being shown to you and question. Right? Now, and since there is a bias, and since we are into this loop of what we like is continuously being feeded, we are growing as more and more intolerant society. And what Britishers did, food karo, raj karo wali niti, the same thing is now political parties are being using it not only in India, worldwide. Right? Now let's come down to another point. Any question, any comment which anybody would like to really make on these points which we have discussed? Good mother versus bad mother, biases, developing intolerant society.
Sir,
Any
my
comment, any
question
question?
was relating to as you said कि artificial intelligence could identify कि what content is required to be feed or what area you are interested in. So if
Right.
artificial intelligence could identify that thing, can't we make any legislation that will prohibit this social media giant to not, if it is of political nature? So we don't want our people to get influenced with any specific political idea. We want them to be independent. So can't we make any legal framework relating to the same? If any political content is there that could be identified by artificial intelligence, that should not be struck continuously to the person, that should not be feed, or any violent video is there that should be identified by artificial intelligence and that should not be shown to the people in general, or we do have any
Wonderful point.
legislation?
Wonderful point, and that's the reason there is a movement which is going on Europe, that these companies, which is like a Google, Facebook, they need Amazon, they need to be broken down into 2 or 3 pieces, because they have such a vast influence, right? They have become much bigger than the East India Company. Let's understand them. They are the modern East India Company, right? And uh, always please. So my next topic, which I want to really discuss about, intelligence versus conscience, right? And intelligence versus conscience will explain you why it is not happening. So although there is a movement against breaking down these companies, but the whole idea about artificial intelligence is to make humans superhuman beings, right? And one human being can do a task of a 1 million human being, augment the human capability. So sitting over here on your laptop, you can analyze the data and customer behavior of 160 million customers, those who are making purchase on Amazon, and influence their decisions as well. So as a professor Abhijit, you have become a god, right? Because your intelligence is expanded, your intelligence is augmented, right? So even though you're not so intelligent, but based on the data, based on the insight, your intelligence has expanded and you can influence. Now, while I was giving example of good mother and bad mother, the good mother still has the conscience, but the bad mother doesn't have the conscience. The bad mother is saying, okay, if I keep on feeding chocolate to this kid, at least this kid will not cry, right? And subconsciously, that chocolate has become a mobile phone. So the one message to the parents, don't give them the mobile phone, you're becoming a bad mother. Now, so the conscience is getting subdued, because if you really keep on feeding the chocolate, let's imagine that each chocolate the child eats, the mother gets, say, $1 million. Hypothetical example, right? So if you feed 10 chocolates to a kid, the mother becomes $10 million, because there is a profit motive. Even though the mother is intelligent, the mother's conscience level will go down. And there is a research paper which says that intelligence is inversely correlated with the conscience, negatively correlated with the conscience. More you become intelligent, less conscience you will have. And that's the reason this, वो जो कहावत है ना, cut throat competition, dog eat dog fall. In less civilized world, this doesn't happen. In tribal world, it doesn't happen. Because those who are less intelligent, less educated, they have to collaborate with each other. They will not cut each other's throat, because collectively only they can really win. But once you become more and more intelligent and once you learn the game theory, it is in your interest to grab more resources. So country like America, which has got roughly around 4% of the world population, consumes 60% of the resources, right? So where the hell this consciousness is comes? And most of the research papers which are being published from Ivy League universities which are based in US. That sustainable living, okay, reduce the pollution, move all factories to China and India, and make your country as a carbon free. Where the hell your consciousness is gone? And you're doing research, you're writing papers, so that you can really see. So you don't have to really go and read that research paper that intelligence is negatively correlated with the conscience, right? What is intelligence? Intelligence is that you can really identify what is good for you. Intelligence is that you will accomplish tasks which will lead you to accomplish a goal, to fulfill your aim. That's what intelligence is. And that's the reason we have been studying everything. Why people take bribe? Because they're intelligent. They take bribe that if I take say 20 lakh rupees or 50 lakh rupees by bribe, I can build a house, I can buy a car, I can give a good quality education to my kids, or I can go on a holiday. He is intelligent and he knows that the law is weak, he will not get caught. So since he is intelligent, his conscience level is gone down. But imagine if law becomes very strong, his intelligence will say that even if I take a 50 lakh rupees bribe, perhaps to safeguard myself, I need to pay 2 crore rupees bribe. Or maybe I will get caught. So whatever dream I am thinking about building up a house and going on a holidays, I will spend my entire life in a jail. So don't do that. So his conscience level will increase. So conscience is a matter of convenience. So let's come down to these companies. So while these companies have a profit motto, right, and they're intelligent enough, and the aggregation of intelligence has become so great that these companies, even though they know that they have to be putting in a conscious effort to safeguard the user, they will not safeguard the user. So let's say, Abhijit, you hate Congress, hypothetically. And if they start showing you the videos which is pro-Congress, you'll switch platform. Because nobody likes good mother, nobody likes the strict father. I always hated my brother who was so strict on me that you'll take my permission from me to watch which movie you're going. And you can watch only one movie. And you'll do this thing till the time you leave this house. Right? You get good grades, move out of this house and do whatever you want. But till the time you are in this house, you need to do what I am telling you to do, and you need to seek the permission. I hated it because you don't, because I had no choice to really move out of the house. But today, you have a choice to move out of those social media platforms because they are trying to really become a good parent. But now you are grown up. Your intelligence is high, right? You say it is my choice. I will decide what is good for me and what is bad for me. Who the hell are you to really tell me? Show me the content which I'm wanting. Now, these companies, they can really do because they have your profile. They're seeing that you're becoming a prone addict. You're becoming a violent. You're becoming more depressed. You have become shopaholic, right? You're purchasing more than what you can really afford, right? You're not able to really pay your bills. Your credit card bills are due, and you keep on buying, keep on buying. It is bad for you. They can really stop, but why they will stop? Because this is against their motive, which is profit making motive, which is means it is contradictory to their intelligence, because their intelligent behavior, the whole artificial intelligence which they have built is around that you make more purchases. It's around that you stick to more. It's just like a bad mother want to make more money. With every chocolate she's feeding to the kid, she's getting $1 million. It is in her intelligence to feed more and spark the conscience. Now, and that's where the judiciary system comes. that you folks cannot really keep your eyes blind. You cannot really get overwhelmed that these companies are becoming unicorn or uh, economy is growing at a $1 trillion rate, but at what cost? Because this is all a paper money, which has got no value. In entire world, and that is another curse of this civilization, that the money is not a real money, it's a disks and bytes. These are the zeros and ones. There is no real money. The money is not linked with the gold. So you can print whatever amount of the money you can do. America has printed in last 2 years roughly around 50% of the currency what they have printed since America was born. Imagine. So the Americans say the whole world is going to really wash, because you will keep on buying the American, you will keep on getting the dollar, and for that you're going to really work more. Anyway, that's a different aspect. But the point which I wanted to drive, that the company that they own will not make any effort to give you the right advices, no matter what they will be speaking on public forums. Their decisions, in a by and large, since their motives are only profit motives. I'm also a businessman. I run business. I'm not against the profit. So don't think that I'm against business or I'm against the profit motive. But I'm against making humans slave, against making humans as a product, against making humans as a guinea pig, and against making human being who is going to just watch your advertisement and become slave for your profit motive. That is not the purpose of human civilization. And what you're going to do with that money, and that's where the legal system, only one thing can really save from this curse is a strong legal system. And for that, the biggest challenge is, since we don't understand, 99% guys, those who are in technology, they don't understand, believe me, because I live with them. I have developed technologies. In MUNI, I have built, say, AI systems. My team has built AI systems. So we understand the good part and we understand the bad part. And when I see really the bad part, it really blows my mind. Right? They are just like a virus. So the very strong legal system can only protect you. And for that, the entire legal fraternity has got a responsibility to understand that how these technologies actually work. Perhaps you need not really go at an algorithm level, but how they're being designed, how these algorithms take decisions, right? That's another point which I want to really discuss, that intelligence versus conscience, and when you're going to really compromise conscience, right? And it is not in a favor of all these profit making companies to take a resort of their conscience, because if they take the resort of their conscience, they will not be able to do the business, right? Although a lot of mobile phones, they have the application wherein they can really tell you that how much screen time you're doing, and you can really set up the limit, right? And there has been a lot of movement. There has been browsers, internet browsers, just like a Blaze. They have come up and they actually stopping cookies, uh, which are tracking actually user data. So there has been a lot of open source movement which is happening. There are a lot of people are trying to really raise their voice against these, and I'm glad that entire Europe is trying to really break these companies, because these companies are not owned. Facebook is not owned by Mark Zuckerberg, right? He is just clone, right? It is investors' money. It is a venture capitalist money, is a PE funds money, right? These are the only faces. The next point which I want to really discuss is what role humans are going to really play. Now, in late 50s, when these technologies were started, the whole idea was, how do we really make technologies which can really do tasks which are simple for the human being, which is like distinguishing between the voice of your male and female, right? Your father and your mother, right? Can you really do simple calculations? Uh, It took roughly around 70 years for machines to actually do those kind of simple tasks. And the whole idea was to move out of humans from doing the repetitive work, which is good. The whole idea of human race is not just to redo work. If you can really remove those manual work, it can drastically reduce down, improve your productivity, and you can really spend that time with your family, in your entertainment, or playing something, or doing some recreational activity. And that's the whole point of the technology. Elon Musk's idea of driverless car was this: when a machine can drive at its own, why you need to really drive? And while millions of people are dying with the road accident because humans get tired, they fall asleep while driving. So let machines drive. This is a very noble objective. Unlike every technology, when internet came, when computer came, right? When all these technologies, when these technology came, there was a fear that humans are going to really lose job. But subsequently, we have seen that invent of these technologies have added more number of jobs rather than humans losing the job. But believe me, this time it is different. Those who tell that AI is or robotics is going to really generate more number of jobs, perhaps they don't understand these technologies. The whole idea. So I'm a businessman. One of the biggest challenge for me for growing my business is humans. While only humans are growing my business, the same humans are also obstacle for the growth of business, including myself. So if you want to grow your business, it is better to replace human with a machine. And let me give you example. If you go to a shop in Kurla or a Dadar, a shopkeeper, if you ask him, show me the red t-shirt, the shopkeeper will show you the red t-shirt, white t-shirt, blue t-shirt, right? If your 5 customers are there will be 5 shopkeepers or 5 assistants will be required to show them what they want, isn't it? Now, let's imagine that on Amazon, at any given point of time, there will be roughly around 10 million people are making purchase worldwide. To serve 10 million customers, how many assistants you will require?
Maybe at least 1 million.
10 million.
10
So
millions.
one person will show the t-shirt, right? Imagine that, and you search for red t-shirt, and from behind, I am there. So I'll come, okay, sir, Abhichi sir, what you're looking, red t-shirt? Okay, I just like this, and let's see, this is Amazon site. Okay, you don't like, let me show you. Share and show you, right? Or maybe I'll send you the email. Now, if you have to employ 10 million people, where Jeff Bezos will be? He will not be in Seattle. वो आगरा के किसी पागल खाने में बैठा होगा. Because managing 10 million people will not be possible. And who's going to fund him actually? His business will go bankrupt. It will not be profitable. So what they did? Some data scientists build recommender system. So you don't need any human being. So 2/3 of the business, so Amazon's revenue is roughly around $250 billion. 2/3 of the business comes out of the recommender system. Netflix, he is recommender system. YouTube is recommender system. Facebook, the content which they show, recommender system. So they have eliminated the humans. So Amazon don't send a single sales guy and still they make sales. That's the beauty of recommender system. And today almost every e-commerce company is adopting recommender system. We have built our own recommender system for recommending you courses and jobs in my other company, Muni Campus. Right? So I know how critical it is to really grow, because manually you cannot really do. You cannot employ so many people. Right? So the idea today, we have reached to this point when most of the businesses, they're thinking, how do we really replace human being with the machine? Which could be bot, which could be robot. China has deployed some robots on border. So there is an Australian professor, I forget his name, I interviewed him, and this guy was advising that robot wars which is led by robots, are going to be much more dangerous than the nuclear war. Right? That's another thing. But there has been successful experimentation in UAE, wherein e-commerce companies are delivering shipment through the drones. So the job of delivery boys, which has millions of delivery boys job has come, millions of job which is being created because Ola and Uber will be wiped out. It's conversational AI, right? So since 2096, 96, 97 onward, or 2000, post 2000 onward, every company started building up their website. Now every company will have their conversational bot, which is just like Alexa or Siri, right? Now, these conversational technologies, conversational AI, they are so intelligent that while you make a call to a call center guy may get irritated and he cannot really work 24/7, right? And when this call center guy actually calls you, he irritates you, right? He again asks you, sir, what is your complaint? What is your name? Damn it, everything about me is already there in computer. Imagine this call center guy itself is a computer. Does he need to really ask me any question? So the moment I pick up my phone and it is machine, it will recognize my voice. It will not ask my question. Imagine my mother pick up the call, it will recognize that it is not me and need not to ask the question. And machine do not get tired. It can really work 24/7. And by nature, more interaction you have, more intelligent this machine works becomes. And there is a movie called Her. You should really go and watch that movie, wherein Jacqueline falls in love with mobile OS. Right? Very interesting movie. So this conversational AI is going to replace my own prediction. In next 10 years, you'll not find a single human being in any of the call center worldwide. Worldwide, not only in India. You will be only talking to a machine. And you will have much better satisfaction. And if the machine cannot resolve your issues, these things will be escalated to some human being. So entire call center industry will be wiped out. In next 50 years, there will be no driver. Next 100 years, all building construction will be done by only robots. What role human being will have? The utility of human being will diminish. Today, just go and check. There is a GPT-3 algorithm which is being released by OpenAI. GPT-3 base. So I saw a demo wherein GPT-3 base is a deep learning algorithm. GPT-3 can really write a code. Python code much better than the human being. So you can tell GPT-3 that build a website which is similar to Facebook, and it will build. Design me a site which is similar to Instagram UI, it will build. So I always tell my students that while we're teaching you data science and artificial intelligence, believe me, there are companies, those who have surplus money, billions and billions of dollars, they are trying to build to replace you. So machine will write machine learning algorithms. Just like humans are reproducing humans. What role humans will have in future? There's a big question mark. And what judiciary is going to really take care of that? I'm not predicting doom, just like Terminator, wherein Terminator will come and kill human being. No, we will not see those kind of stuff. The utility of human being will reduce down. And since utility of the human being reduced down, humans will have no reason to recreate. And hence the human population is going to reduce down drastically in next 100 years. 100 साल भी गुजरते हुए ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगता है. हम लोग ही, हम में से हर कोई कम से कम अभी 30-40 साल तो जिंदा रहेगा. And the student, those who are 20-year old, they will perhaps live another 60 years, 70 years, and maybe after 50 years, some medication or some cure will come that they may cross 150 years or 200 years. But digitally, we have become immortal. We will never die. So the human population will start diminishing maybe after 100 years or 50 years. But during this period of transaction, which is like say 10 years from now or 20 years from now, wherein a lot of people will start losing the job, what will happen to them? Even today, a lot of truckers in US are losing jobs because there is a driverless truck. What they will do? And they have acquired no skills. Entire their life, they were driving the trucks only. How they will feed their family? So the question to the legal system, how are you going to protect them? Because this digital technology came, disruptive technology came and kicked them out of that role. Because the purpose of the human civilization is not only to make profit. It has come in only last, say, 200 years. So what are the provisions we are going to really make in the legal system? That's the question to you. I don't have the answer. Elon Musk tried to really give the answer that yes, we need to really release the universal wages. If you are being replaced because of the robot, you need to get money, which seems a good idea. He's a futuristic guy.
Even the artificial intelligence is going to play crucial role in legal systems, sir, because I heard somewhere that we are going to use artificial intelligence in order to find out laws, find out the cases. So all these thing, making proper argument on behalf of client, all this thing will be done by the artificial intelligence.
Okay, so I myself has taken up one session for MNLU to how deep learning and AI and machine learning will play a role in artificial intelligence. Whatever I said and whatever everybody says, take it with a pinch of salt, right? So in a short term, it is going to really help you. But a longer run, make erroneous decisions. So these tools are only good for improving the efficiency, but not for the decision making. Because I gave you the example. When it comes to the intelligence versus consciousness, for survival of a humanity and good for the humanity, consciousness need to be always above the intelligence. Right? That's the reason all saints or social workers, even though they are not intelligent, they have been given much more respect than those who are intelligent. So this trade-off need to be made. And that choice society need to really give. if you really give too much of importance to the intelligence, intelligence has a tendency to consume more and take only care of the self-interest. It could be individual, it could be the society, it could be the country, which is not good for everybody. And you can go and check in the history. When industrial revolution came in UK, they became much more intelligent. And look what they did to the world. Today, it is being said, and now this is everybody know, the war between China and America is a AI war. It is a data war. Whosoever will have the data, whosoever will really have better intelligence will rule the world. It's going to be multi-trillion-dollar intelligence. And this whole metaverse which is coming is nothing. It's basically a combination of AR and VR driven by cloud and AI. So you'll have a new cases. In metaverse, you will have a property dispute. In metaverse, people have murdered, people have robbed. How the legal system is going to really handle with that? So my last point, which I want to really leave this whole discussion is that since these technologies are growing exponential and our learning capability is linear, we have been learning linearly. We go to the college, we do the post graduation, we do perhaps our PhD, and maybe by 28, 30, our learning is done. And rest of say 30 years, 40 years, we only earn and we perform our duty. So our learning, even while we were studying, was linear. And most of the learning we could not really retain. Now, since we have gone into this exponential technology curve, to give you the example, Python language, which is like a core of this AI revolution, was not there in any university curricula, not only in India, worldwide 3 years back. Python came into Mumbai University curriculum just 2 years back. And while these technologies are already proliferated in every aspect, even legal aspect. So even the engineers are incompetent, not trained enough to understand and diagnose what they're selling you and how result they're producing. To digest and comprehend these technologies, we need to really come out of this linear learning curve and we need to really go on exponential learning curve, which is continuous learning. Whole life you have to really learn, and which lawyers do. Whole life you keep on analyzing the cases, and based on that cases you present. And that has become for almost every profession a truth. Now, the point which I want to really leave you to think over is how you are going to really prepare yourself for the future cases and even the cases which are going to really come in present. And how you are going to really held responsibility. So a driverless car runs over a family. Whom you're going to hold responsible? Tesla, Elon Musk, or AI engineer who has written an algorithm, or a hacker who has hacked into that algorithm or software, or a family who was sitting in the car, or the family who was run over? Question, I don't have answer. How you're going to identify whether the police who has already produced the court case, and based on the digital forensic evidence and also the profiling which is being built by the AI system and big data system, how you're going to really take a call whether he is a really criminal or not, and he is not a say culprit or maybe victim of the biases which was induced, human biases which were induced into the machine. These are the some questions which you need to really answer. And these are the questions for which we need to get ourselves prepared. In this cyber war, how you're going to really hold responsibility. Tomorrow you'll have the cases wherein perhaps I may come tomorrow to you that I want my name to be removed from every search which is being done about me on Google, because I don't want to be searched on Google. And I'll tell you, one of my students last year, he does that, why my profile is being shown on mobile university. So we have a product called Seagull. When every student publish their profile to get the employment, and why it is being coming into the Google search. We need to rewrite the code so that it doesn't come into the search. While every company is making an attempt that if you create a profile on LinkedIn or a Facebook, immediately you do the search, everything comes about you on the Google search. To protect the privacy, we need to redo that. But imagine if somebody files a case against Facebook or LinkedIn, how are you going to handle? Whether you're going to really discard that case, or what case you're going to really put against the Facebook or LinkedIn. And thus these kind of provisions are there in our law. While in this world, in this digital world, there's no meaning of privacy, but still privacy is very emotional notion for us. It is close to our heart. But this disruptive technology do not care any damn about the privacy. And privacy, if you talk to anybody, they will say, okay, what privacy? So with this thought, I close my discussion. So I'm not trying to really show you that this doomsday is coming. While we all are reaping the fruits of AI, data science, machine learning, at least my company is growing because of the AI and data science. We have built solution to stop child trafficking and women trafficking. That is again powered by deep learning. My company is using artificial intelligence to give job recommendations to thousands and thousands of users. Roughly around 215 colleges in country are using this. We're using it. A lot of good work is being done. There's the company in Bangalore, my friend Dr. Geeta is using deep learning to diagnose breast cancer. Right here in Mumbai, Spectral Analytics, they have a company called Cure AI. They are diagnosing for COVID. They are advising to BMC. And Shrikant, I just congratulated him 2 days back. His company has become unicorn, Spectral Analytics. So yes, good work is being done. And I know how ethical Shrikant is with core values. But can we really say confidently about most of the companies? Are they really doing any trade-off between intelligence and consciousness? And if not, it is your responsibility to force them. And for that, you need to understand what is happening. Not just get blindfolded, not get just overwhelmed with this charm of these technologies. Thank you so much. And I will welcome if you have any questions, any suggestions.
Thank you very much, sir. And anyone want to ask any question, or you can also put your question in chat box if you want.
So Sejo here. So as
Yeah.
you have rightly said that AI, as you more talk to AI, it will become way more intelligent.
Right.
So the intelligence is basically like you're keeping notes of each and every moment, because as
Right.
rightly you said that Facebook came in the year 2005, but our Information Technology Act is of 2000 and is still not yet amended.
Right.
And we are not keeping the pace of as the technology is moving around. So artificial intelligence, I don't know how it will take time for such kind of an amendments to take effect. But till that point of time, most of the data which is already there, because in the end you said that people look into social media handles for everything. and for privacy related, there is one case before the High Court as well for not to showcase any disclosures or any information. But still they are not able to figure it out that how you will be able to remove all the data, because if you don't have any data on any platform, even for job reference, because recruiters also look into social media platforms to know you way more better. But still, if your profile is not there, they will never be recruited in that manner, or there is some sort of dark secrets which is happening that okay, you need to have some sort of data behind it. So what will happen if the question is that even if artificial intelligence, as you are in the field and is taking place on every occasion on a daily basis, how law will take into that effect and keep on regulating to such that okay, for so and so period there has to be some sort of an law barrier and you have to comply to that. Like in US we have Congress.
Very valid point you have said. Very valid point you have said. For that we need to question why it is needed. So you said that if you don't have the social media profile, you will not get recruited. So my question is, you need to really ask the question, is there really need for me to really have my social media profile on Facebook and LinkedIn for recruiters to really go and check? My private life is my private life. Why recruiter is concerned about my Facebook? And if recruiters make any decision about my Facebook profile and rejects me or selects me, you have a right to really go and recruit and sue against the recruiter that he has used a biases against you. So I'll tell you, 2009, 8 and 9, TCS Global HR had called me up. He said, and that time we had a service for doing campus recruitment testing for thousands and thousands of colleges. And we used to do this testing services for Capgemini, Xavier, CSC. He called me up, he said, we want you to develop question battery, which we used to do for campus recruitment, for hiring purpose. India, we don't have the challenge, but we have a challenge in China and other countries that we need to justify that why we are asking these questions for recruitment. And we need to justify that it is needed for the job and it is not for the bias. So I'll tell you, most of the companies, they ask your ability to comprehend English in India, while English is not needed to write a code. And it is a clear-cut violation and it is a clear-cut bias against those who do not know and they cannot speak English, which is a clear-cut bias. I have get software developed from Russians, Ukrainians, Polish, and they don't speak English. They are barely able to communicate on chat, but they write 100 times better code than the Indians, average Indians. And I also run a software company. I do not judge a person based on their ability to speak English. I judge based on their ability to write a code. While most of the companies, their first criteria is that can you really clear a group discussion and an interview in English? Hell with the coding skill. That will train you in a company. 95% of them, they never get into the client-facing job. It is needed if you're facing a client from Europe or America. But why you have to re-torture 95% people? 4 years, they waste their time learning English rather than learning the language. Now, as a legal profession, you need to raise this question. File legal suit against these companies. They cannot really take a decision based on your Facebook profile or a LinkedIn profile. And who has told them and what insight they're getting about you? And I know this is a common practice, but we need to ask this question. What extra data you're getting, which you're not getting in my CV?
Sorry to interrupt, but for scrutinizing, unless and until they scrutinize, and if they go and if they say yes, then only you will be on the panel. Till that point of time, they have made their opinion within that few seconds after going through your profiles. And if you don't have a profile, then also there is an issue. If you have a profile, also there is an issue. Which
So
whatever.
I understand it will be difficult for you to actually prove that yes, they have taken this decision based on the biases which they have built looking at your Facebook profile. Let's say, imagine that they found a picture that you are drinking and partying in a Goa. What right they have to really make a judgment about you? Don't they drink beer? Don't they party? What judgment they have? What kind of right they have? Elon Musk, in an open live interview, this guy took a marijuana. Do anybody have the guts to remove him as a CEO?
No, sir. That will never happen.
He did it publicly. Even the legal agencies don't have. It's not that I'm trying to promote that yes, you have to really do this kind of activity, but I am trying to really ask questions, and that's the job of a legal system. That why it is needed. But even if you file cases against 10 companies, 20 companies, they will become cautious that they need to be careful, and they need to document on what basis they are doing the recruitment, which is there in the US. In US, they cannot ask for any candidate photograph while making any judgment, while recruiting a candidate. Here in India, I am seeing a trend, very disturbing trend, wherein candidates start putting their photographs on their CV. What it has to do with my photograph? You are hiring models, or you're looking at what is inside my brain and what work I can really do. This is a clear-cut bias. But some of the evils, we we have taken it for granted. We think that this is the normal culture. This is acceptable culture. We don't question, and that's the job of a legal professionals like you to question everything. Not only you, every citizen, every human being. Why it is needed. And I appreciate this girl who raised this issue. Initially, my team was pretty disturbed that she's cynical, she's a psycho. Why she has to leak crap about everything when nobody's saying? Why she has to say? I said, you need to really respect. You can't really term them. Any other thing? Anybody's mind?
Yeah, good afternoon, Bhupesh Anand this side.
Yes,
Anand
Professor
Raut.
Anand.
Am I audible? Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, Professor Anand.
So, uh, it's really a treat to listen to you every time. Two things. One is yes, you make us aware about the developments in technology and you relate them, but you make it very simple to understand. Now, if the same information, if we want to know, and if we read a tech website, it's full of jargonic terms, and we end up getting more confused rather than understanding the thing that we were looking into. And second, you bring very interesting insights into what technology is, because this whether they how do they work, how does it impact, uh, because uh, not being from technological background as such, we tend to hear the uses of technology. Sometimes we hear these days we hear artificial intelligence advertisement, etc., but how exactly it is impacting lives and what ethical challenges it is bringing, it's something that only you can bring to the table, and we are fortunate to have you. uh, Unfortunate for schools where you could have been a professor. You sound like a professor only. We really want to invite you in our field of work. Now, I
Thank you,
had
Professor
one.
Anand.
Uh, yes. Now, I have. We are facing one issue. There are many issues, but one of the prominent issues that we are facing and we are still have not found answer to is these days these e-commerce operators, Flipkart, Amazon, allegedly it is being said, it might be others also. Allegedly, it is being said that they have pricing algorithms, and
Right.
these pricing algorithms they are colluding with each other in such a
Right.
manner that they do not compete with each other.
Right.
So these e-commerce operators, they know what are the pricing strategies of their rivals by, and this all happens through AI, and AI fixes their prices. As a result, what happens that the competition in the market gets killed, and it's a violation of anti-competition law. Now, if you ask the coders, people who have coded, they would say that it is AI, it has done it on its own. So my question is it even possible to uh, investigate whether this is happening because of the codes written by the coders, or is it that the AI has self-learned to do these things? Uh, how can we make them liable? Can we even investigate this issue? Abhijit, it seems there's
I think
some
I think, sir,
network.
a problem is from source side. He must be
Uh,
having internet issue over there. Uh, Hello. Yes, sir.
Hello.
yes, am I audible now?
Yeah. So I could not hear you for last 30 seconds.
Yeah. So,
There
how
was an
can
issue
we
either my
affix?
side or your side.
Uh, yeah. So now, if am I audible?
So you
If I'm
have
audible,
pricing,
may I continue?
price fixing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how to affix liability? Can we affix liability? Uh, how can we hold them responsible? Can we do that? How to investigate this? Whether it is the coders who have written the codes in that way, or whether the algorithms have self-learned to do these things.
So the cases, and then they hire the auditors, and these auditors, they will get inside their entire algorithm, that how their price determining algorithm works, which is not very complicated to actually analyze. And you can always trace money. So one of my professor, even you don't have to get into the algorithm, you can always chase the money. So most of these companies, let's say Flipkart or even Amazon, most of the highly profit selling products, they have also set up their own company, subsidiary companies, which is actually selling those products. So they are getting the
Yes.
insights, and they know which product is selling more, and they set up the subsidiary company, and this company starts selling those products, right? And of course, it is my e-commerce site, and I am only the supplier. I would try to protect and maximize my returns on my subsidiary company as well. And to do so, I will do everything. So I may also put another company, and this company will start selling the product on Flipkart. So let's say I am selling, say, this mobile phone. Okay? And I have my e-commerce company. And I have also created a subsidiary company which is manufacturing this mobile phone. Now, let's say I am running Amazon. I have a subsidiary company which is making this mobile phone. So I have to make profit on both. One, my own Amazon, because Amazon gets a commission, and also this subsidiary which is manufacturing the mobile phone. Now, since I own Amazon, I want users to come on Amazon. What I will do, I will put this same product with other company's name on Flipkart. Or this company, my subsidiary company will put the same product on Flipkart. In Flipkart, I will be selling on 12,000 rupees. On Amazon, I will be selling on 11,000 rupees. So the user will always come and buy on Amazon. Since Amazon charges say 15% or 20%, so even though while I am offering 1,000 rupees lesser price at Amazon, my net profit will be much more than selling on the Flipkart. That's the one thing. The second is, of course, these pricing mechanism. How do you actually, they give you the best price because they have the scrapers and they keep on scraping the data from multiple websites, multiple places, and then dynamically they try to really come with the best price and offer you. Right? So you can always go deeper into how they're scraping the data and how their algorithms are being written. And if you really file a code is definitely going to allocate an auditor who will really run through their code and identify what the hell they're doing. But yes, these are the practices which is there, and Europe is trying to really bring antitrust movement against these companies, large companies, wherein they can really influence the market because they have so much of surplus cash available with them, and they have become much bigger than most of the countries.
Yes. And generally we follow their trend. We follow what Europeans do, and then we follow here.
If you're done, Anand, can I?
Yes.
Sir, with regard to your last example, I think this is one of the things which is going on with future retail, Amazon and Reliance Jio as well. Because in retail segment, future retail has been there for such a long period of time, and they know whoever comes to buy even a single product, they take a note of mobile numbers and all, so they know the purchasing habit. And with regard to Amazon also, with regard to groceries and other online products which we buy, it's in a similar process. And Geo is trying to make sure that if we get the deal, definitely they will have the upper hand and ready-made database, because they have already bought another company of Just Dial.
Right.
So in this scenario, everyone is bidding on a very huge data content, or a content you can say, so that they can have a ready-made details of each and every person and their purchasing habit. It's called the behavior pattern, purchasing behavior pattern,
which is good and a bad way as well. So if you cannot really let individual companies and one group become a monster, and they become so powerful that they can really get into the movement area like oligopoly, not only even monopoly.
every company is trying to create a monopoly. Like you said, that if Amazon comes into the picture, definitely Amazon has all the data. If Geo comes, they will have the entire data, and game is for the monopoly. Like you in your the entire session, whoever has the more data will rule,
Right.
and have an.
It's a simple, the king who has got more insight about their citizens will rule. The king who doesn't know their citizens will not be able to rule.
Correct. Perfect.
So the future kingmaker is Mam Chuke Bug. Okay, thank you guys, thank you so much, Professor Abhijit, Professor Anand, and again I will express my thanks to Professor Dilip, Professor Anil, Pooja, thank you so much, and wish you good luck to all of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your meticulous and precise explanation on the topic of disruptive technologies. Thank you so much for your word of wisdom, and it was indeed an enriching experience to hear you. And I would like to thank Dr. Anand Rao, sir, Assistant Professor of Law and Head of PG Department, MNLU Mumbai, for this informative webinar. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you very much to all the participants for being so patient and cooperative. So, with the permission of the chair, I would declare the closure of program. Thank you very much, sir.
Have a nice rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.